What is up, guys? It is MMA Propaholic, and happy 2024, everyone. And we are here with a UFC breakdown for UFC Vegas 84. And I'm going to be breaking down Jim Miller versus Gabriel Benitez. And yeah, I actually just broke down this fight for 17 minutes long and uploaded it on YouTube, editing it. And then I go to listen to it, and I can't hear it. And I'm like, oh, what the hell's going on? And yeah, had myself muted the whole time. So that was it's a great way to come back on here. But yeah, I'm excited for this card. I'm excited for this year betting as well. Um if you guys have been following me, I mean, I'm sorry if I haven't been posting. I haven't posted since September, since like the UFC Noche card. Honestly, I started slacking YouTube. I don't know why. I just slacked. I was getting really busy with everything. And I kind of just laid it off and was trying to grow my Discord and just really grow my Twitter and was posting all my breakdowns on there. But now I really want to like get back on YouTube and do this. So like my resolution this year, obviously, was to be actually doing a solo breakdown for like every single fight for every single USD card this whole entire year. So yeah, consistency is like really going to be my key this year, especially doing this. And I also want to like give my insight and give my tape analogy to you guys. It's like the stuff that I see on the tape and how I break down all my bets. So yeah, let's get straight into it. I picked this fight because I think this is just a great fight to start the year off with, especially at Pick'em. So we got Jim Miller, who is 40 years old, and Gabriel Benitez, who is 36. Both have the same height and the same reach advantage. So yeah, Jim Miller and like both like to fight out of the southpaw position. Miller has good inside leg kicks. He has a good left hand as well. When I was watching his tape, he got rocked against Eric Gonzalez, got dropped in the first round. He got taken down open mat. And like Eric Gonzalez is literally like only a blue belt in fucking jiu-jitsu. So, and I really never seen Eric Gonzalez like completely wrestle on tape. So I was a little bit shocked he was able to get him down with absolutely non-resistance that easily. But like Gonzalez was starting to fatiguing at the end of the round. I know Miller got dropped and he's able to survive adversity. But like guys, like Eric Gonzalez literally is not UFC level. And he was plus 225 going to that fight. Like Jim Miller was minus 265. And I honestly really don't think he kind of covered that money line price, especially getting dropped in the first round like that. Um, and also like how that fight ended is like Eric Gonzalez literally overloaded on a front kick, and he was already done at the end of the first round. His corner just put him out there. I don't know why. I don't know why they did that. He literally was like laughing at the end of the first round, just kept eating left hands like an idiot, and just wasn't really like using his fight IQ at all. Um, he definitely overcommitted himself to a front kick, and that's when Miller just perfectly timed the left hand as he came in boxing range. Next fight it was against Nicholas Mata. I didn't really find that win to be that great, especially knowing Mata's resume in the UFC. I mean, the guy's been knocked down in 4 of his 5 losses as well, and basically just got beaten up by like Trey Ogden by a jab the whole entire fight. And what like really like stuck out to me in this fight is like Nicholas Mata. He's very stationary in his striking. He's just like heavy-handed loaded. Like he doesn't really throw a lot of kicks. And all Jim Miller really did was kind of just sit on the outside and like kick the inside leg. He didn't really like go after him that much. He landed a big counter left hand that was able to get him to ground strikes and get the finish in the late second round. Um, and then like Jim Miller goes up against who was his next fight against? I just broke down this fight. I just broke down this fight for 20 minutes, guys. I'm sorry. Donald Cerrone. Donald Cerrone, like movie star, like reality star and everything. And like Cerrone was having a lot of moments in the first round. I honestly gave him the first round. He was piecing up Jim Miller, honestly. And like the way he was doing it is like he was just standing on the outside and kicking Miller a lot to the body. Jim really couldn't like get going with the hands too much, so he kind of had to go to the inside leg kicks. And I just feel like that's basically Benitez's game when you're going to stand on the outside with him and kick with him. Um, and yeah, he ended up getting the guillotine, but it was kind of like a club and stuff. Like he didn't knock down Cerrone or hurt him or anything. Cerrone kind of just slipped on a kick, and Miller just ran and jumped guillotine. So yeah, I mean that was a good win for Jim Miller, but he was also like minus 205 in that fight. So I was just like, okay. Like, he gets that win. He was minus 205 against Don Cerrone and minus 265 and got dropped and was kind of losing the first round against Cerrone. He was a heavy favorite twice there. The Hernandez fight, like I thought Jim Miller did very good in the first round. He was pressuring Hernandez pretty damn well. He was hitting him with some pretty good shots. But that's when, like, as the fight kind of like got more into the second, third round, Hernandez kind of started to take over. And here's why. Like, Jim just really was like overcommitting on the left hand because he's coming off like 3 finishes in a row, and especially his finish people with the hands. Um, and Hernandez was just landing a lot of knees to the body, especially in the second round. And he was just able to back up Miller. And I don't really think like Hernandez is as good as Benitez at like closing range, and especially just being at such tight boxing range. And I really thought like Hernandez was winning a lot of those moments in that fight. So I just feel like that was pretty much an eye opener for me. I know Miller had a really good third round. He got beat the fuck up and he kind of came back, but I mean, and just a Jesse Butler win, being Jesse Butler means fucking nothing to me. It means absolutely nothing to me. I said it in my breakdown on Twitter. It means nothing to me. So then I go watch Benitez's film, and I mean, I was impressed. I mean, people are like giving this guy, I think, a lot of shit because he fights like once a year, and people think he has a durability problem, and I honestly really just tend to disagree with that. I don't think he has a durability problem. We're going to talk about someone who does have a durability problem on this card, and it's not Benitez in my mind at all. Go watch the Sadiq Youssef fight. Like, 'cause Sadiq Youssef literally charges at him and is overloading on like 5 right hands and hits him with 3 of them, and Benitez just laughs and eats his best shot and then continues to strike with him and drops him in the first 2 minutes of the fight, but then gets overcommitted and gets knocked out against Youssef. But like the thing is, though, is like Youssef has really young, explosive power and speed. So I thought like he dropped him, had a big moment, almost finished him too. So I thought that was a pretty good look for Benitez. Morales is a way better kickboxer than Jim Miller. I don't care if I'm going to get heat in the comments. Morales is younger and he could skirt the outside more than Jim Miller. You put them in a kickboxing match for 15 minutes. Omar Morales wins. I don't want to hear it. Justin James wins, not impressive, but like when you really just watch the fight with Benitez and how he even did in the Morales fight, like he's able to just really slip and like dodge some shots and go to the body in close tight range. And that's where I feel like he could really fuck Jim Miller up, is in the tight range. Corintillo was literally wrestling him in open mat. I don't really think that's going to be Jim Miller's game plan here. Like, please, Jim Miller, you're going to wrestle. Please wrestle. I want you to wrestle because you wrestle in the first round and it's the second round. Jim Miller will fatigue, especially with the way how Alex Hernandez was working the body and Jim just kept backing up. Like, Jim Miller does not like being hit to the body. He doesn't. And that's where Benitez honestly like does a lot of his best work. He actually ends up getting his back taken in the first 2 rounds, comes in the third round and actually knocks down Corintillo, where he's actually at his best point in the fight. So I thought that was impressive. David Onama's a killer. And he has moments against Onama as well and just looks amazing in that fight up until he gets knocked out. And Ontiveros, it's Charlie Ontiveros. But like, if you watch Gabriel Benitez, he's not a big grappler. He has good submissions as well. Like, when he's on his back, he's going for heel hooks. He's going for leg locks. He's trying to like go for guillotines when you try to grapple him on cage so he could like, so they could just break the guillotine and then like hold, then he'll get you back up against the fence. And that's when he'll go to the body on you. Like, that's where he does his best work, is up against the fence. And I just feel like he's going to have a lot of moments where he could back up Miller, and especially have moments against Miller in the first round where I really think that Jim Miller is going to lack in this fight is speed. I feel like it's going to be hard for him to really find Benitez early. And if Benitez really gets in his groove, he's going to fuck Jim Miller up. Like, he is going to piece this guy up. He's going to obliterate the lead calf. He's going to, like, Jim Miller's going to try to close range with the left hand. He's going to get hit a lot. He is going to get hit hard a lot. So yeah, I think this is a good spot for Gabriel here. And we know how he has really good leg kicks, aka has harder leg kicks than Luke Rockhold. We hear it every damn fight, but the guy does have really good goddamn leg kicks though. And not a lot of people are kicking the legs of Jim Miller in his last 5 fights as well. Gonzalez really is heavy hand loaded. Mata heavy hand loaded. Cerrone was doing pretty good with it and threw a lot of good body kicks as well. Hernandez was throwing some pretty good kicks. I think Hernandez landed like 13 kicks, but we know Benitez is more of a kickboxer than Alex Hernandez, and that's really where Jim was struggling in that fight. So I just really, and even if he like Jim Miller's going to try to grapple here, I feel like Gabriel's going to be able to have the defense to keep it on the feet and then just split open and then just kind of just start elbowing him up against the fence. So yeah, I like Benitez here. I'm picking him to win. I actually have a unit on him at -105. If you guys have like seen my breakdown, I thought the line was very generous, knowing that he kind of opened like -175, but I'm seeing a peak at +110 right now, and if it hits +120, I'm probably gonna add a half unit, so I have like a 1.5 unit stake on Benitez. But I just don't like this fight for Jim Miller. Honestly, like I'm a little bit shocked with all the love on him, especially like knowing that like 91% of the pathologies on him, which I think is ludicrous and just already an eye opener. Because I think a lot of people are just looking at him like starching Jesse Butler and like having such a good third round against Alex Hernandez, but like Alex Hernandez, when has he ever had a good third round in his career? I mean, when has he ever done? I mean, probably the last fight against Jim Miller. But before that, when has he ever had a good third round? Like guy gasses in the second midway to the second round. I know like everyone's like, oh well, get Benitez looks good for 3.5 minutes and he falls off a cliff, but like I mean, he's dropping Sadiq Youssef in the first round. He's dropping David Olnaba in the first round. He's dropping Corantillo, who is very durable and got knocked out by a flying knee against Edson Barboza, who was a killer. Like, I'm just shocked with this line. I just don't think it should be placed like this. Like, I feel like you're relying on Jim Miller at -130. Like, why not just like take Miller inside a distance or something? Because I don't really think he wins a decision here. I really don't at all. And people are like, oh, well, Jim Miller's tough as nails. Guys, speed kills. Speed kills, and it's going to kill in this fight, and it's going to be very evident early. Very, very evident. Like, if Eric Gonzalez can fucking drop you in a first round, how can Benitez do it with his hands and his speed? Like, that's just, I mean, that's just me. That's just the way I look at it. It's the way I see it on the tape. And so I'm going with Benitez here. Yeah, this is the second time I actually just broke down this fight. So yeah, if you guys haven't checked me out on my Discord, go check out my Discord. I drop all my UFC bets in there. That's where that first place where I drop all my bets. So that's where you guys will beat all the line movement with me because we were able to beat I think, 3 lines this week. I beat the Simone money line. I got him at -154. I'll be breaking down all these fights I'm talking about now. I don't want to get too into it, but I beat the Simone line, I beat the Cop KO line, and I beat the I'll say this one. The Tom Nolan, Nicholas Mata under 1.5 openers. Thank you for +125. I generously thank you a lot. Should have smashed it harder. But that's now -220, and my Discord was able to beat the line by a whole entire dollar. So yeah, get in the Discord, guys. You guys will beat the lines with me. I'm always prepared when they come out. I snipe them. You guys can tell last year that was like my way of really making money last year was getting on those lines early, getting on that tape early, and doing all my work early. If you guys haven't followed me this year on football as well, I'm up 46 units as well on football, which is $4,600. I have Action Network where I track all my bets as well. So yeah, make sure you guys are following me on Twitter as well. I got it linked in the description below. And I also have my Bet MMA tips where I track all my MMA bets and where you guys can see all my tracked MMA bets since like I think summer of 2022 I started doing this. So yeah, I'm basically like my second full year into doing this. So yeah, guys, let's hope it's a great year. Let's hope it's a great 2024. Drop a like, drop a comment in the section below. I want to see who you guys have in this fight. Drop your reason why, and we'll talk about it in the comments below. Hey, and if anybody wants to do a shoey, get in here below. Gabriel Benitez to the bank, motherfuckers.